Hey there YouTube, do you like TV? Because I like TV. The past year I've started watching a lot of TV. I don't really know what brought this on, but maybe my desire to broaden my interests had something to do with it, and TV was a really good way to get some more interests. So I have shows that I started watching and I love them right from the beginning, and I continue watching them. But then there are those shows that you don't have any interest in watching at all, but then when you finally do watch them, they're amazing. So for some reason, that second thing happens to me more than the first one. Here's my list of TV shows that I thought weren't going to be good as they actually are. Number 1, 30 Rock. My brother and sister used to always talk about this show for the longest time, and I just refused to watch it. I had no reason, I just didn't want to watch it. I just didn't think there was any way it could be as good as they said it was. Wrong! 30 Rock is brilliant. It's easily one of the most funny and most quotable shows I have ever seen. Pretty much all of this has to do with the fact that it's created by Tina Fey, who is just a genius, and anything that's made by Tina Fey is just, you just know it's amazing. I really can't express how much I love Tina Fey. The character she plays, Liz Lemon, is just amazing. I find myself being able to relate to Liz a lot, which sometimes I think is not so good, and sometimes I think it's freaking awesome. There's also a huge range of really funny and really awesome characters on this show. Of course, all of them are hilarious, and they're all really well written. Personally, my favorite is Kenneth. I really like his innocence and his strangeness, and the fact that he really loves TV. Number 2, Community. I only recently started watching Community. This show has a ton of hype around it, and a really core group of fans that really love it. I really didn't think it was gonna be as good as it actually is, but Community is easily one of the best sitcoms on TV in a long time. I talked about this show a few videos ago. I watched this show out of order. I watched season 3 first, and then I watched 1 and 2. The show was just absolutely brilliant. After watching the whole thing, I completely fell in love. It's really clever and funny and surprisingly heartwarming. I really like all the special episodes that they've done, like the Claymation Christmas episode, all of the paintball episodes, and the video game one is one of my personal favorites. I think the last time I talked about this show, I said I really liked Troy and Abed, and that is still true. Two of them are just giant kids. They like to pretend and have fun, and they don't care that they're adults. And I really like all of Abed's commentary about how TV and movies are really just a reflection of life, because that's something that I believe is also very true. It also makes for some really funny jokes. Number 3, Game of Thrones. This show took me a while to get into, actually. I watched the first 2 episodes and thought, wow, there are way too many naked boobs in this show for me. And when the second season was about to start, my friends really urged me to start watching it, and I gave it a second try. And I'm super glad I did. A little disclaimer, Game of Thrones is not for the faint of heart. There is a reason it's on HBO. There's a lot of sex and a lot of violence, and if you are particularly squeamish about gore and violence and blood, then maybe Game of Thrones isn't for you. I have a hard time watching some of the episodes. But once you get past all of that stuff, it's amazing. There's this huge range of characters, and most of them are terrible people, but then you have really awesome characters like Tyrion and Jon Snow and Arya and Sansa. Politics and the power struggle in this show are really fascinating, and I'm never really into that kind of thing, but just Game of Thrones just makes it interesting. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's got knights, and I like stuff with knights and castles and stuff like that. Plus, the theme song to this show is probably the most epic thing I've ever heard. And number 4, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was totally against this show for the longest time. I thought it was just some show that for kids that weeaboos liked because it resembled anime. But then I got bored during the summer, and my friends wouldn't shut up about it, so I tried it out. I finished the entire thing in 2 to 3 weeks. Avatar is amazing. It has awesome characters, and the story is captivating, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It's such a quality show. I think people will think that because it airs on Nickelodeon that it's not that good, but it is that good. The world it's set in is really interesting too. I really like the connection between bending and martial arts, because I really love martial arts, and also I really love all the Asian influence. Each area of the world the Avatar takes place in is based off of a different Asian culture. And normally you can tell which culture the area is based on because of the look of the city and the way that the characters in that area dress. I think it's just really tastefully done. Some shows will make like caricatures of Asian culture and it ends up being really offensive, but Avatar isn't like that. Everything is done just really, really well. The creators of the show have made this world that's familiar, yet it's really, really different. Nickelodeon is currently airing a new show based in the same world as Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it's several years later, so all the characters in the first show are not really in this one. The show is called The Legend of Korra. Korra already, even after 8 episodes, is just as amazing as Avatar is. It's got this really interesting dynamic of modernity versus traditional culture. So I really recommend you check it out because it's really interesting to watch. And that is it for my list of TV shows that I didn't like at first but absolutely love now. I encourage everyone to check out these shows if you have not because they're really, really good. So do you like any of these shows? And let me know what kind of shows you like to watch because I am always looking for new things to watch. That's all for me today. Till next time, bye bye!